Okay, today's video is going to be the intro to Python coding. We're going to start off today with talking about variables. The easiest way to think of a variable is just a placeholder. So it's holding some kind of value in the computer's memory for the program to go back and retrieve and use in some sort of way. Could be a number, could be a letter, could be a name, could be all sorts of things, a list. But only thing you need to know about variables is it's just a placeholder in memory in the computer that the program is using to get that information. So we're going to start out by giving our variable a name, and we'll just do a simple name as message. I'm going to set it equal to, quote, hello world, end quote. And then I'm going to say print, open parenthesis, message, close parenthesis. Now, I didn't save my program yet, so I'll go up into File, Save As. I'm going to call this one Variables. I'm going to verify that I'm in my Python folder, which I am. I'm going to hit Save. Then I'm going to hit F5, or you can hit the Execute button. Either way works, and we get Hello World. Now, if I were to put quotes around message, you will see when I hit F5, it outputs the word message instead of my variable name message. So you got to be careful when you're outputting to make sure you're calling for the right thing. Now next, I'm going to create a new variable, so I'm just going to delete what I currently have. I'm going to call it name. I'm going to set it equal to, quote, let's do Thomas Henry. I want all lowercase, sorry. Thomas Henry, end quote, print, open parenthesis, name, close parenthesis, F5. I get Thomas Henry. If inside my close parenthesis, I add a dot title, empty parentheses again, this time when I run F5, it gives me Thomas Henry with a capital T and a capital H, even though my variable name has lower t, lower h. If I had 3 words in here, it would capitalize the first letter of each word. If I had 100 words in here, same thing. Dot title just capitalizes the first letter of the word. Now let's say I wanted to test something else. Print, open parenthesis, name dot upper, empty parenthesis, close parenthesis. And also let's go ahead and do print, open parenthesis, name dot lower, empty parenthesis, parentheses. Hit F5, and you see we have Thomas Henry, capital T, capital H, Thomas Henry, all capital, and then Thomas Henry, all lowercase. Now, we'll probably get into this later, but these are called methods. So lower with the empty parentheses. These methods are pre-built into Python. You didn't create them. I didn't create them. The creator of Python actually has them built into the libraries. And like I said, we'll get into that later. I just want to be aware of what those are called. So I'm going to delete all this again. This time I'm going to create a variable called first name. Set it equal to Thomas, quote, last name, set equal to Henry, end quote. Then I'm going to have full name, set it equal to first name plus, quote, space, quote, plus last name. And I'm going to print out the full name. Close parenthesis. Hit F5. Oops. Oh, I didn't capitalize the N in full name. So that's something you got to be careful with when you're making your variables. If I have full name with a lower N, that's a different variable than full name with a capital N. So you have to pay attention to your spelling and how everything is punctuated. So it outputs Thomas Henry. Let's go ahead and add the dot title back in just to show you that that will work as well with the empty parentheses. And there we are, Thomas Henry. I can even add message in front of it or a string in front of it. If I go quote, hello, comma, space, quote, plus full name dot title. Now when I hit F5, we'll get hello, Thomas Henry. I can also change this to where it's a variable called message. I set it equal to, we gotta get rid of the parentheses. Oops. And then we type print message like we did before. Now when I hit F5, it outputs. So I have a variable name first name that has Thomas, variable name last name that has Henry, a variable name that holds the variable first name plus a string with an empty space plus the variable last name. Then I have a variable called message, which holds the string of hello, comma, plus the variable full name, which holds these two variables. So you can get really complicated with variables if you wanted to go as complex or as simple as you want. Now the next line, I just want to show you what you can do with strings. So print, open parenthesis, quote, languages, colon, \n, that's the one above the enter key, backslash T, and then the word Python, \n, \t, letter C, \n, \t, Java, end quote, in parenthesis. So if I hit, well, before I hit F5, \n gives you a new line, \t then tabs that next word over. So you're going to have the word languages, colon, new line, tab over Python, new line, tab over C, new line, tab over Java. And I can show you that by pressing F5. This is what that lays out like. Kind of neat little trick you can use to lay things out differently. Next, I'm going to go into numbers in Python. And numbers are pretty easy. You just simply type print, open parenthesis, and then what numbers do you want? So I can do 2 plus 5, close parenthesis. I hit F5, I get number 7. I can do 2 minus 5, which would give me an odd number, but it still works, minus 3. 2 times 5 is the shift key plus the number 8 key, which gives you the star. Hit F5, 2 times 10. I can do divide. Hit F5, 0.4. And lastly, I can do shift, 8 key, number 8 key, number 8 key, which gives me the power of. So 2 to the power of 5, which I believe is 32. Yep. So 2 to the power of 5 gives you 32. One thing just to note, if I were to do 0.1 plus 0.2, the answer should be 0.3, of course. But because the way Python and the computer holds information, it's held in binary, it doesn't always get the output the way we want it to be. It's accurately right, but the output doesn't look right. So this gives me the answer of 0.3 with a whole bunch of zeros and then a 4 way down here. Later on, I'll show you how to truncate this so it chops off after the 0.3 so you don't care about all this garbage down here. But for now, just ignore it. It's not a big deal. I'm going to go ahead and delete everything I have in here. If you want to keep yours, just keep going down. I just want to do it just to save some space, make it look a little better. So what I'm going to do is create a variable called age. I'm going to set it equal to 35. Then I'm going to create a message. I'm going to set it equal to quotes happy, space quote, plus age, plus space quote, space birthday, quote. So I have happy space quote plus sign, my variable age, which is 35, quote, space birthday. So it should say happy 35 birthday. And you know this is probably 35th, so you could add the TH there if you wanted to, so it looks right. But instead I get an error that says can only concatenate string, not integer to string. So Python doesn't do a very good job of changing from string to an integer or vice versa. So you have to do it for it. So if you just add the letters str, which stands for string, open parenthesis, close parenthesis around the word age, and then hit F5, program executed with code 0. What is going on? Okay, pretty simple fix. What happened is the program did exactly what I told it to do. So I said that I wanted a message that says happy 35th birthday. What the issue was is I didn't tell the program to output message. So therefore it was a error on my part, not the program's part. They hit F5 now, it says happy 35th birthday. Okay, now the last thing I want to show you today is how to make a comment. So up at the top, I'm just going to hit the enter key, or not last thing, second to last. I'm going to hit hashtag, type in the word name, colon, and this is where you want to put your name. And then you can do hashtag date, colon, whatever today's date is. And then hashtag description. You always want to give a simple description of what the program is supposed to be doing. So I'm just going to put intro to variables. I can even do intro to different variables. Pretty simple, but when I hit F5, you'll notice these 3 lines that I have the hashtag in front of do not execute. That's what I wanted because it's just a comment for the programmer or anybody else that's going to use the program in the future. The last thing I wanted to show you or inform you of is that Java has things built into it. Besides certain words and those methods I showed you earlier, you can also do what's called an import. And I want to import this. That's the proper way to do it. Hit F5, and it's The Zen of Python by Tim Peters. And that simply says, beautiful is better than ugly, explicit is better than implicit, simple is better than complex, complex is better than complicated, flat is better than nested, sparse is better than dense, readability counts, this includes comments when your code, specialized cases aren't special enough to break the rule, although practical beats purity, errors should never pass silently. Unless explicitly silenced, in the face of ambiguity, refuse the temptation to guess. There should be one and preferably only one obvious way to do it, although that way may not be obvious at first unless you're Dutch. Now is better than never, although never is often better than right now. If the implementation is hard to explain, it's a bad idea. If the implementation is easy to explain, it may be a good idea. Namespaces are one honking great idea. Let's do more of those. So talking about the namespaces, I don't do that as well with my variables like we did the first name, last name. I use camel case where the first letter of every word following the first word. So the first word is all lowercase, and then the first letter of every word after is capitalized. So if I called it first name holder, the N and the H would be capitalized, but the F is lowercase. He's talking about this first underscore name. This is name spacing. That's the way I think he's talking about it. But hopefully that answers your questions or gets you what you're looking for when you're talking about variables. And there's a whole other slew of videos out there that can guide you a little further, but this is as far as I wanted to get. So thanks for watching.